Hi there, everyone. And first of all, welcome. Emma's just told me, actually, I thought it was just a lovely group of people in the room, but there's lots of people online as well. So hello to you online. My name is Roger Thompson. I'm the CFO of Janus Henderson, and a huge welcome to those of you here today and those of you online. First of all, happy 5th birthday to Chapter 1. I'll still call it Tutor Mate. I'm sorry if I slip into Tutor Mate. I apologise, Emma. But happy 5th birthday to Chapter 1. Our relationship with Chapter 1 goes back a very long way. This company is sort of half in the UK and half in the US, and our US business had a relationship with, we'll call it Chapter 1, for a long time. And in probably 2017, 2018, there was talk about this thing coming to London, or coming to the UK, I should say. And we'd seen the power of what it can do and how it can help children. I guess Chapter 1 saw the opportunity of expanding into the UK. And we sort of worked together to help do a little bit at the beginning to help set it up. In that early stage of providing some capital support for the early stage setup. And I guess from small acorns come the wonderful things that we've got now. What have you just told me? It's 112 different firms involved. I think there were 2 schools to start with. God knows how many there are. You'll know 300 and something, I think. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary success of 5 years. And yeah, we're very proud of our ongoing relationship. We've been involved in the 5 years you've been here. Some of the tutors from our firm have been involved for those 5 years, and my thanks to them from our firm. But I know there's many more of you out there. This evening isn't just about how Chapter 1's grown, and certainly isn't about the Janus Henderson relationship with Chapter 1. But it does fit very much with what we want as a company, and I'm sure what many of your companies and what you personally want. Early literacy is just so critical. Now, as a company, we believe in the transformational power of education. Our foundation is set up to support and help youth achieve its abilities, how it can improve. And that shouldn't be influenced by backgrounds, parents, technology, whatever it is. And the work that's done here helps across all backgrounds. And yes, we're a financial firm, and we were chatting a bit earlier. I do care about financial literacy. I think that's incredibly important. Lauren, who's talking here earlier, I was really delighted to hear that schools are doing more about financial literacy, but it all starts with literacy in one way or another. Reading is the key that unlocks it all. Personally, my 30 minutes a week, and that's the wonderful thing about it, is as I describe it, it's 30 minutes, but it takes you 31. There's no backwards and forwards. My 30 minutes became an unlikely highlight of my week. I wasn't expecting it. I've tutored, I guess, Year 1 students from New North Academy for a number of years. I'm having a sabbatical this year. Did 4. In the first year, Emma and Lauren, I think you went easy on me. You gave me a cheeky little chap. He was on here earlier. A little boy called Conor. His picture was up. He was super bright. He was super fun. He was brilliant at reading, and I thought, this is great. We had so much fun. My second year was much more challenging. And again, I'm sure some of you have had the same thing. Come February, March time, we were still sounding out sounds of single words, and it's hard. And then something happened over Easter, and this little girl came back and she could read. And not only could she read, but she was exciting about reading. And you were saying earlier, Lauren, that something just suddenly gels in a mind. And that was one of the most rewarding things ever, of taking someone and just fighting this thing week after week and thinking you're never going to get there, and then all of a sudden it did. So that all 4 years have been challenging and rewarding in different ways. Challenging in different ways, but always really rewarding. So I think it's some amazing work that you do. Thank you on behalf of certainly us as a firm. If I may, thank you on behalf of all the employers and the tutors, the children, the schools, and the country. I mean, this is so important. Reading is such a core skill, and this helps it make it happen. So I'm absolutely delighted to invite you all here today for hopefully a very special evening, and over to Emma.
Thank you, Roger. A lovely welcome, and fantastic to see you all here in the room, and lovely to see everyone online as well. So Roger has already welcomed you, so we can move swiftly on to the next slide. But before I do so, I think what's really lovely, as Roger said, is that he himself volunteered, supported a young man called Conor. And so, personally has made a big impact, like all of you have on an individual child's life. And actually what we decided to do this evening was to track Conor down. So Conor started off in year 1, he's now in year 5. And so who better to greet you this evening and say a few words than Conor himself. So you can see he looks a little bit different now.
Hi, my name's Conor. I used to read on a blue laptop with Roger. I wanted to say thank you for helping me out, and I enjoyed reading much more. Right now I'm reading the Train to Impossible Places by P.G. Bell. Just wanted to say thank you again so much. Bye.
Reading choice, in that he thinks that we're all going to know exactly who P.G. Bell is. So yeah, that's Conor. But yeah, before I move on to the sort of important part of the evening, which is recognising and celebrating all of you and the amazing support that you've given children, I just wanted to say a couple of things about the journey that we've come on in the past 5 years in our work. So as Roger's explained, we started off in this country in 2018. We were building on a model that had been successful already in the States. And our mission, is really very clear. So we're trying to play our part in closing the reading gap between affluent and disadvantaged children by providing them with one-to-one support at the time they need it most. And that's what we're set up to do. And the scale of the problem that we face was then and is still now immense. There are 38% of disadvantaged children who don't read to the expected standard when they leave primary school. That's an issue that has been exacerbated by the pandemic and the school closures that children of this age group experienced. And there are actually 1 in 5 children in this country today who don't own a single book at home. So they're not exposed to reading and books and words, apart from the time that they spend at school and the time they might spend reading with you. So we are an organisation with ambitions to reach as many of those children as we can. And it's been, a journey of growth, as Roger said. We started off in a couple of different areas of the UK. We started off with 380 volunteers. We're over 2,000 today in 10 different places. And with that incredible 112 corporate partners. And lots of people have joined us and continue to join us each year. This year alone, the picture looks a little bit like this. We've deliberately and intentionally always wanted to support children in communities outside London, because although there are lots of people who quite rightly want to support the community on the doorstep and their office happens to be in London, there are others who would love to actually go to a place where there isn't so much business investment, and they might be in Canary Wharf, but they're going to support children in Middlesbrough. So we wanted to be able to make that happen. And the beauty of an online programme is that we can. So this autumn, we're getting going in Manchester, and our ambition is 3,000 children supported by 2024. So with that, just a little bit on background, I am now going to move on to the awards themselves. So this, as Roger has said, is about all of you. We're keen to grow our work. Of course we are, and reach as many children as possible. But at the heart of what we do is the relationship that every single one of the volunteers at Chapter 1 has with a child. We hear time and time again from our fantastic volunteer community how much it means to you to be developing a long-lasting, sustained relationship with a child, which gives you the opportunity to see them flourish and to see them grow. And the impact that you make on those children is evident from the data that we collect, from the feedback that we have from teachers who tell us how children's confidence blossoms, and the fact that we have a waiting list of schools who are keen to join the programme. But it's also in the smiles and the giggles that you have when you read with children week in, week out. And you are building their reading confidence and making them, really importantly, and Lauren talks about this from a teacher perspective so well, you're making them feel like they matter, that someone outside their family or their teacher cares enough about their education to call them every single week. And that's hugely important. So before I move on to sort of highlighting individual achievements, I would like to just us collectively give every one of you and everyone online a clap. Fantastic. Okay, so our first award of the night recognises the fantastic contribution of individuals who have read with children, and in some cases more than one child in a year, for every single year of the last 5 years. So there are a number of Janus Henderson volunteers on that list, as you can see. But the volunteer who we're going to honour this evening is Eddie Durant from NCR, who's with us, which is absolutely exciting. And before I present the award to Eddie, we have a person with us virtually who would like to thank Eddie for what he's done with him this year.
Hello everybody, thank you Eddie for reading me Earth books because you challenge me hard works. You're the best.
Eddie, please come up.
Thank you.
So I should have introduced, that's Ryan from London, who said those few words and did his best to be nice and loud, we hope. The next award that we want to present, which I think we flipped to temporarily there, is to someone who can't be with us in person today, but is with us on Zoom. So I'm going to be sort of virtually handing her her little glass trophy, which will obviously get to her. So Dina Zavali from Deloitte has read with 2 children in Doncaster this year, Luke and Henry. And before I hold up her award, we will just briefly hear from Luke and Henry.
Hi, I loved reading with you. Thank you. Hello, Dina. I want to say you did good reading with me, and you are my favourite reading. Nathan, you're gonna be with me in my heart, and I love you very much.
So, Dina, this is yours, the spirit.
I just want to say thank you. The emotional Greek comes out now. Thank you to Chapter 1 at Deloitte for this opportunity. It's really important to me. This time with my little ones is really refreshing. I work from home on a global role, working funny hours, so I have my mornings empty whilst my 2 children are at school. So this is a refreshing break in my day. I think, I have to say a lot of thank yous to these little boys.
Okay, and so our final sort of individual award for this evening is for a fantastic volunteer, a group of, well, as you can see, a number of people on that list who are in the room today. But Zoe Parks is the recipient of the award for the person who has given the most home reading support provided by a volunteer this year. As some of you will know, we have a part of our programme called Chapter 1 Home, formerly known as Tutor Make Home, where you can, with families that are able to facilitate it, give children additional support. So on top of a classroom session, which is what Zoe's been doing this year, she then reads with her child Anissa after school, because the family are able to make that happen. They have the ability to connect to our platform, obviously, with their own personal device. So we have, as you might have guessed now, there's a theme. We have a few words from Anissa and her mum before we hand over the award to Zoe.
Hello, everybody. This is Anissa's mom. My name is Naila, and this is Anissa. And we know that Anissa's tutor, Zoe, is getting a special award, which is well deserved. Zoe has been working really hard with Anissa over the past year, and we're really grateful, aren't we? We want to say, what do we want to say? What do we want to say to Zoe?
Thank you.
Thank you for?
Thank you for reading with me. She's the best.
She's the best. She's absolutely the best. Honestly, Anissa was struggling with the reading at the beginning of the year, and honestly, Zoe has put in so much hard work with Anissa, reading with her in school, reading with her at home, booking in the sessions, even when it's holidays, etc. She's, booked those sessions in, and Anissa was really struggling with the reading, but she's really come on so much with the reading. Like this weekend we went somewhere and she was reading all the words, and that's because of the help that's always been giving her. So we really appreciate it. So we're gonna give big thumbs up. Are we ready? So we'll say well done, Zoe.
Well done.
Say we love you, Zoe.
We love you, Zoe.
And we're gonna really miss her. We're sad that it's coming to an end, but thank you once again, Zoe. None of this, her progression wouldn't be possible without you. So thanks once again. Big thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Say we love you.
We love you.
Say bye.
Bye.
Fantastic. Good. Well, thank you all very much for that, and thank you all of you who've played a part. Obviously it was, we were singling out individuals, but as you saw, there's a number of people who have made a huge contribution on some of those slides, and then all of you in the room obviously as well, so and online. So thank you so much. And I think at this point we want to move from celebrating the support that individuals have given children to giving a little bit of a shout out to some of the organisations that have made that possible as well. None of the individuals in this room or online who have supported children and transformed their lives with helping them with literacy would have been able to do that, as Roger said, without the support of their employers. And not only does corporate support provide 80% of the income, which keeps Chapter 1 going, but our partners, I think, really are leading the way when it comes to providing their employees with online opportunities that are really flexible and time efficient. And often giving them paid time to do that. So you all deserve, those of you representing those companies, particularly those of you in corporate social responsibility departments and working on social value, to congratulate yourselves for making that opportunity possible for your staff. So our first organisational award is really a bridge, I think, between the wonderful individual volunteers and the companies that support them. We wanted to talk about the group of volunteers from a whole range of different businesses who have been as Eddie has been, volunteering, supporting a child every single year since the beginning, so for the last 5 years. And as you can see, there are a good number of them, and I know quite a few people are in the room this evening. So all these businesses and all these fantastic people have been with us since the very start. And by an amazing coincidence, the company that has the most number of volunteers who've been with us since the beginning is Janus Henderson Investors. So they are the recipient of our award this evening for the largest number of serial volunteers. And I think the wonderful Sally Duval is going to come up and accept that on behalf of Janus Henderson.
I just wanted to say I'm really happy for the opportunity to do this, and it, like everyone has said, it lightens up my week. You cannot be sad when you're speaking to one of these children. You just can't, and it lightens up my whole week, and I look forward to it every week, and I'm sure you all feel the same. But I'm really, really happy, thanks to Roger, that we have been involved in this from the start, and I hope that we continue to every year, and hopefully we'll increase our volunteers every year we can.
Fantastic. So the next organisational award goes to the one of our partner who has recruited the most number of volunteers in the 5 years that we've been operating. And that award goes this evening to Deloitte. So we will welcome Deloitte on the stage in the form of Alison Walker, who leads the education programmes through their CSR team. And Alison herself is an incredibly committed volunteer. And those of you who've been watching the slides extremely carefully will have noticed that Alison was also in the top 5 of volunteers who provided home support. So it's a kind of double congratulations to Alison this evening, but thank you very much to Deloitte. Great. So the next award is for our partner that has recruited the most number of volunteers this year. So, you know, no rivalry at the top of consultancy in any way. But it's our pleasure to give this award to KPMG, who recruited 110 volunteers who read with children this year, which was phenomenal. I know we have a number of partners who have committed to matching or exceeding that number next year as well. So we're really trying to grow the number of people who make a substantial commitment in that way for their staff. But it's a great pleasure to be presenting this to, is it Harriet and Zoe, or did both of you going to come back? Yeah. So to KPMG. Yes. As Harriet said, she can't wait for Manchester. KPMG have been one of a small group of partners who've supported us to invest in getting the programme going in Manchester in the autumn, as I mentioned earlier. So that's very exciting. Lots of demand in Manchester from schools. So I think our last award of the evening now. So we are moving on to what we're calling our Reading Commitment Award. So this is for a company that has given, the team might not be as large as some of the other companies that we've talked about this evening, but what they've managed as a group is to be incredibly consistent. So every single one of those volunteers in the Ocado group, who are the recipients of this award tonight, have done a very high number of sessions with their children, often because they've called more than once a week or have been supporting multiple children. So this evening's Reading Commitment Award goes to Ocado Group, and we have Adam Croney, who's accepting that on behalf of Ocado. So before I hand over to our final speaker, I wanted just to do two important things. The first of course, is to thank Janus Henderson again for having us this evening, for all the lovely, the food, the drink, the opportunity to be in this lovely space. So we really do appreciate all the support that you've given us over the years, and particularly for working hard to make tonight happen. And obviously, I extend that thanks to the members of the Chapter 1 team who've also gone above and beyond to make this evening go well. Particular shout outs to Becky from Chapter 1 and to Cressida from Janus Henderson, who've managed all of this with great calm and aplomb. So thank you for that. And then secondly, I wanted to tell you just a little bit about our summer appeal. So this is the first time that we've done this. So it's a little bit of a departure for us. But as I mentioned, we have 80% of our income that comes from our corporate partners. But that does mean we need to raise 20% from other sources. So this year, for the first time, to celebrate our 5 years, we have launched a summer appeal with a target of raising £50,000. And that money will be used to do a whole range of things. So upgrade some of our slightly aging laptop stock, and develop more literacy games and resources for the platform, which I'm sure will be close to many of your hearts as you have your 400th go at 3 in a row. You can't face the idea of playing Mystery Word one more time. So, we want to invest in making some of those things better. And obviously that does sadly cost money. So we are launching that this evening. If you are able to support us, then thank you very much for doing so. And before I hand over to Lauren, who's going to just say a final few words from the perspective of schools and teachers, we have a couple of people who also just want to say thank you. So I will let them do so as well. More than a couple, actually, a few.
3, 2, 1.
Great. So I'm going to hand over to Lauren, and after Lauren's spoken, please feel free to mingle, carry on chatting to each other, come up and talk to one of the Chapter 1 team if you've got questions. And again, thank you for everything that you've done, everything that you continue to do. And here is to not just the next 5 years, but many multiples of 5. So Lauren, over to you.
Hello, forgive me. I'm used to speaking to 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. So I was so honoured when Emma asked me just to say a few thoughts. I think, one of the first teachers that had tutor mates, as it was then, in my classroom, and we were just so thrilled to be involved. It was such an innovative project to be involved with, and our children just utterly loved it. The impact that you have all had on the children that I've taught and that I've been involved with as a class teacher and as an assistant head is just so invaluable. From having someone that will talk to them every single week, that will read with them and that will listen. And I hear your conversations, and it's not always reading the book. I know that you're chatting, and they absolutely love it. And they so value the time that you give them online. And then when you've been able to come and visit as well, it's so lovely and heartwarming to watch. And I have conversations with parents who say the same thing. Someone is reading with my child for half an hour every week. They're really taken aback as well. So it means so much to the children and their development, but also academically, a child's reading age is one of the most important ways of determining how they might achieve over their lifetime. If a child can't read at the level that they should, then they're not going to be able to be reading to learn. So it's really unlocking the rest of the curriculum to them. So thank you for your patience and for sounding out every single one of those CVC words. It's so valuable, and the children that I've worked with have just so loved it. So thank you for taking that time. As a teacher, it's the absolute win, because it's so easy as a teacher to manage, because you're signing up when it's convenient for you. I've trained a very precocious child to answer the phone when you guys ring. And let me tell you, they are the top dog in the class. They are running things that afternoon. when they go and get the child that it's their time for reading. So as a teacher, we couldn't be more grateful. As a leader in a school, the data genuinely speaks for itself. From that very first year, when we had a lot of children who are working towards the level that they should be in year one, every single one of the children from that very first cohort passed their phonics reading check. And then when they take their Key Stage 1 SATs as well, we're at expected. So you're making such a difference. And I've so valued hearing some of you through my children, and for all of the children that you've read with. Thank you so much.